Is the framing good? There we go. Okay. Eat that later. I'm ready to put my jewelry making skills to the test. What? What? Why don't we head to the store and we're just gonna have a fun day all about jewelry. I'm gonna film and not look, okay? Hi guys, and welcome back to the Sorry Girls. My name is Kelsey and I am jumping into today's video, which is going to be all about buying versus DIYing your own high quality jewelry, including a little jewelry tour of everyday jewelry. I like to just wear simple pieces that I can wear all the time, every day, and it kind of goes with everything. And this whole video is inspired by my quest for a midi ring. So we're gonna go on that quest. And we're also gonna talk about some jewelry. I want to give you guys a quick overview of what I already have so that you can know what I'm working with. First up, I think one of my oldest pieces of jewelry is this opal ring that I got from my ex-boyfriend, but I picked it out, so it's like not a big deal. It's cute and I still wear it. I purchased this kind of like rectangular diamond ring when my grandpa sold his house and I got a little bit of inheritance money. My mom was like, buy something special from your grandpa. So technically this is from my grandpa. And at the same time, I also bought just a simple thumb ring. These ones are pretty cheap, but they are, I think, 14 karat or 10 karat gold. And we can go into what solid gold versus gold filled versus gold plated means a little bit later because it's super important when buying your jewelry. I also have some forward helix piercings. I got these both at the same time. They took over a year to heal. My entire family, everybody I knew was like, take those out of your body because they're not gonna heal and you're gonna get sick or something, which is obviously very important. But the way that I actually ended up making them heal is switching out the post for a shorter post because the post was getting in the way when I was sleeping and was keeping it like disturbed and not letting it heal. So when I switched it out for a shorter post, it was able to heal. So today I actually want to go back to the piercing place, pierced. And we'll get another piercing roller there. What? What? On my lobes, I have just some simple hoop rings. I got most of my jewelry from Bluboho, which is a little shop here in Toronto. And I paid $44 Canadian for the pair, which I think is pretty good because they are 10K gold, solid gold. And actually a funny story is I got my belly button pierced when I was like 15. My dad really didn't want me to get my belly button pierced, but my mom was like, she's gonna start driving next year, let her get her belly button pierced. So I got my belly button pierced, wore the barbell, was super cool, but then I grew up and I was like, I don't like this barbell anymore. It wasn't really my style, so I just stopped wearing a belly button ring. But then, when I was getting my little earlobe rings, I was like, oh, these would look maybe cute in a belly button. So they come in a pair, so I just put a pair of them in my belly button, and that's what I wear in my belly button now. And I think it's kind of like cute and simple, and it looks better than having just like a hole there, because that's what I had when I took out my belly button ring. Oh, and lastly, my DIY piece of jewelry that I actually wear every day, but we need to fix today, is this necklace here. If you guys remember, we did a video that was like $15 versus $150 jewelry, and we both, Becky and I, made jewelry. We made jewelry out of like real materials like gold, and then jewelry that we kind of just like upcycled it and was cheaper. So this was the real gold one. It used to have 3 little circles on it, but the other 2 fell off. So now I just have 1, and I think the problem is that the boob, like the clasp at the back, is heavier than my little pendant here, so it always flips around and it's super annoying. So I kind of want to find a heavier pendant to put on this, or I have extra chain and maybe I'll just make a whole new necklace. But I know that was a lot of talking. Why don't we head to the store and see if we can find a midi ring, and then see if we can tackle DIYing a midi ring, and we're gonna DIY more stuff, and we're just gonna have a fun day all about jewelry. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let's go. Oh my God. Okay, so my first stop is going to be Mejuri. How do you say that? Mejuri? Why am I blanking? Mejuri. No, what the f is it called? Oh my God, why am I blanking? Are you kidding me? Can't find it now. Mejuri. So first we're gonna go to Mejuri, because I've never been there. They have a Toronto location, and I'm gonna see what they have there. And then we're gonna go to Bluboho, which is where I got all of my current jewelry. So I just wanted to see what they had as far as midi rings go. And then we're gonna try to DIY it all. So let's go, squad. Actually, first we need to go to the bank because I got checks on checks to deposit. And I gotta get lunch. I haven't eaten yet. Are we gonna get a Beyond Meat burger? I think we are. Sorry, not sorry. too. Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Can I get a Beyond Meat burger, no cheese, please?
Combo?
No, but just a small fry. Not today, coronavirus. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Thank you. A mayhem out here. Call Pierced.
I don't see a Pierced in your contacts. Who would you like to call?
Call Pierced at Square One.
Should I call Square One near City Center Dr. Mississauga?
But like call Pierced there. No. No.
Hello, Pierce Square One.
Hi there. I was wondering if I came in later today to maybe get a piercing just on my ear somewhere.
Yeah. Our piercer is going to be here the last time at 7:30.
Oh, okay, great.
There is a really large group coming in at 7 though, so I suggest maybe coming in sometime before that.
Will do. Okay, I'll see you soon.
All right, see you then.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.
All right, well, let's go. Oh, okay, Tunnel. Hi, Tunnel. Hi, how are ya? Let's go get a new piercing. This little baby ear. She hasn't been touched since she was like 13. Hello, maybe 11. I don't really know. Okay, so first up we have Mejuri or Mejuri. How do you say it? Mejuri?
I say Mejuri.
Mejuri.
I do think it's Mejuri.
Mejuri. Cool. It's like when I worked at Aeropostale and it was like, is it Aeropostale, and I'm just like, you know, it's do you.
Artist interpretation.
So I learned a couple different things. One is that they don't have any sizes that fit a midi ring. It looks like my midi ring would be like a 3 or a 2, and the smallest they had there was a 4, which means I would have to resize it. So these were a couple of the rings that I liked. But yeah, it would include resizing, which they said could cost about $20 depending on where you go. What I really liked was this like open kind of cuff. I think that that looks really good as a midi ring. So as I proceed, I want to keep my eyes out for one that can be like open like that. And then also I was checking out the chain ones, because a chain I feel like would be really easy to make. So that might be a good DIY option. And lastly, for my necklace, they actually sell real gold charms there. So I could get a charm there that would be heavier, which would solve my boob problem. But let's head on over to another jewelry store, the one where I got pretty much every piece I currently own. While I make my way to the next jewelry boutique, I'm gonna let Scientific Kelsey tell you something that we should all know before we start buying jewelry. I didn't know it, but I'm glad I know it now. So let's talk about all of those confusing things in between something that's a real solid gold and something that's just painted to even look like gold. At the bottom of the spectrum, we have a gold painted jewelry product. This is literally has paint on it that looks like it's gold. It's not even real gold, and you shouldn't even buy this. It's gonna turn your fingers green, and it's very cheap, but we all know why. Next up, we have gold plated. Now this does have a very thin layer of gold around the outside, but the base metal underneath is not a high quality base metal, and it will chip, tarnish, turn your fingers green. It's not water safe. It is very cheap, but it is costume jewelry, and I wouldn't recommend buying it because it's not gonna last long at all. Next up, we have gold vermeil or gold vermelli if you're me, and it's, oh, sorry. Okay. Next up, we have vermeil, which is similar to gold plated, except that base metal is gonna be a sterling silver or a high quality base metal, which means that it will last a little bit longer, it won't tarnish as quickly, and it is not water safe, so it's not good for everyday wear. Next up, we have gold filled. Now this is probably your best value bet. It has a base metal on the inside, but it has so much gold fill on the outside that it's not gonna tarnish. It's really safe for everyday wear. It is a little bit more expensive, but it's gonna hold its quality and it looks really great. This is pretty much the lowest quality jewelry I'll buy if I'm looking for something that's gonna last me a really long time. And then of course we have our solid gold products at 14 karat to 24 karat gold. If you guys didn't know, solid gold actually has other metals in it, and that's where the carats come in. You want something that's kind of mixed with other metals because real gold is actually super soft, so it wouldn't really work well for jewelry. But your 14K to 24K gold is a good option for jewelry. It's not gonna tarnish, it'll last a very long time, and it's super high quality. So now you know the difference between all the different types of gold jewelry that you're seeing out there, and hopefully So now you know the difference between all the different types of gold jewelry you're seeing out there. I didn't know the difference before I started this video, so I'm glad that we're all caught up and informed. Thank you for my TED Talk. What I learned at Bluboho is that they have a bunch of these stacking rings. They go to a super small size and they're only like 68 or something like that. So that would be a really good option if they had them in stock. So I really do, I think, want 2 midi rings in total. So I think I'll at least get 1 from there. And then maybe I'll try DIYing another one. The only other downside is that they only had the stacking rings, the very simple ones, kind of like this guy. Can you see it? They only had a style like this for the midi rings, so if I did want something that was like a little bit more unique or in a cuff style, I would have to get it resized or something. But also she was like, the problem with a cuff is that you're gonna get it caught on things, so she wouldn't have even suggested that, even though it would look really good, I think. Next up, let's go to a place called the Beadery, which is where you can make your own jewelry. And we've bought supplies there before. That's where we got the supplies to make this. So let's go see what they have. And let's see if I can make my own midi ring. I hope it's possible. And I hope it's cheaper. But $68 is not bad. I can with that. Oh my God, what a successful day, can I tell you? So this last stop at the Beadery really brought everything together because I kind of struck out at Mejuri. Why do I keep forgetting it? I kind of struck out at Mejuri. Bluboho didn't have my size in stock, but Beadery, my angel named Anastasia, she was actually the one that was there when we worked on the jewelry video before, and I made this little necklace. And she was there again. It's her family's business, and she has her own jewelry line called High Street, so make sure you guys check her out and show her some love. But let's talk about what she hooked me up with. So first of all, she showed me this midi ring. It is one that she soldered, and you can kind of tell there's like some solder marks. I will put an insert of this later. But what I learned is that I was like, hey, can I make a midi ring? And she was like, well, do you know how to solder? And I was like, not really. So what she did give me was this. So this is a gold fill wire. The smallest they sell is a foot, and this cost me $36. But with this, I can make a bunch of rings. So what I'm actually going to do is kind of like do some kind of twisty effect and make some little mini rings, and I'll have a bunch of them, I guess. But then the other thing she hooked me up with, I swear, if I didn't go here, I would have been quite out of luck, was a new pendant for my necklace. So she basically had this kind of larger version of what I already have, and I can add that to my necklace, and it is gonna make it heavier in the boob knot show. And then lastly, I already have some chain left over from when we did this video before, so I'm gonna try to make a chain midi ring. Oh, and can I just tell you that I wasn't going to purchase this midi ring from her just because sizing wasn't perfect, although she said she would resize it for me, but also it was a square wire, and I kind of wanted a circular wire just because the square one I feel like could be a little bit sharp. So I was gonna go back to Bluboho when they get them in and purchase one of those because they fit really nicely. But she gave this to me, and that's so sweet. Thank you so much.
And this you can keep.
Oh, no way. Yeah. Are you sure?
Yeah, absolutely. I know you'll come back.
Okay. Oh my God, thank you so much. So I'm gonna wear this one for now. So we can head back to the office and work on that. But first, there's some important business that we have to attend to. I'm gonna film and not look, okay?
Sounds good. All right, so whenever you're ready, give me a big breath in and let it out. Good job. There we go. That's the worst part over with that.
Okay.
I know that sucks. The ball magic, and there you are.
Cute. I like her.
But she looks good.
So back in the office, it's the next day, and I'm ready to put my jewelry making skills to the test. I think that the first thing I'm going to do is fix this necklace, because it's the easiest thing to do, and I love starting with the easiest thing. So fixing this necklace was super easy. I just opened up the jump ring that was on the pendant and added it to the jump ring that was already on the necklace. At first I was going to actually just have the larger pendant and not have the little small dot, but when I was at the store Anastasia, I was like, it could look good if you had both of them on there. And then I was like, oh my God, Anastasia, you're right. So it didn't lie flat right away, so I ended up taking off the small pendant and adding it to also that jump ring on the larger pendant. And now it looks good, sits flat, and hopefully my boob will no longer show because the pendant's a little bit heavier. Wishful thinking, maybe, I don't know. Next up, I'm going to work on making a midi ring. So I thought the easiest way would be to do a chain midi ring. So I actually had this gold fill chain left over from our making expensive jewelry video that we previously did. So I just cut off a very small portion that fit around my finger, and then I made a jump ring out of some thin gold fill wire and rounded pliers, making sure that was very tight. And then I could just slip on each side of the chain to that little jump ring, make sure it was closed tight, and it fits on my finger. If you guys haven't seen these chain rings before, then you might think I'm a little bit crazy for doing this, but I think it's pretty cute and dainty, and honestly, this is the easiest way to make, I think, a ring or a midi ring because you don't have any open ends. It kind of feels like a nice, cohesive, completed unit. I think it's pretty. Next up, we're going to make a midi ring using this gold wire that I got this time when I was at the beadery. This is 18 gauge gold fill wire. This honestly looks very similar to the rings that I already have, but I do like how it's rounded, unlike the one that I was gifted, because this one's out of a square wire, so I find it to be like a little bit, it's not as comfortable as a rounded wire. And this wire actually cost me $36 for a foot. That's the smallest amount I could buy, but I can probably make a couple of different rings with this wire. So overall, that's a pretty good deal because the material is comparable to a solid gold. It's not solid, but it's a gold fill with at least 30% gold on the outside. So it's something that you can wear all the time and it's not gonna tarnish over time. Oh, and also I'm gonna link below for you guys some resources of where you can buy gold wire and stuff. So the first way is to just cut the wire to the size of the midi ring that I want it to be. And instead of soldering the ends, I'm basically just gonna have them butt up against each other like it's a giant jump ring. And I know that this isn't like the way you're supposed to do it, but I think that this is a good little hack. I figured out that the easiest way to do this is to find something that's the right size of your finger or the ring that you want to make. So I'm using this marker lid and just wrapping around the wire. This makes sure that the wrap is very smooth and the circle is smooth and you don't have like this weird wonky shape. And if it is not the right size, you can always cut it and then from there squeeze it, but it's a lot easier to shape it once it has been wrapped around a lid or something. Now my other way to do a midi ring is to actually round out the edge so it kind of like curves in on itself and that way you don't have any sharp ends. Then I went ahead and wrapped it around my lid and then I used those rounded pliers again to make another swirl and then decide from there to cut it and then just kind of use those flat pliers to shape it. So you kind of have like two little rounded ends that you can either put on the outside or the inside of your finger, whether you want this detail to show or not show. And then that's another hack way of doing a midi ring without soldering it. Just be careful when you're doing all these steps because the pliers can scratch the gold. So be very cautious and definitely use like a flatter plier instead of one that has like little teeth and grips. These are more like jewelry pliers versus like wire pliers. I don't know what they would be called. Hardware player. Thank you guys for tuning into this journey of jewelry, everyday jewelry, midi rings, and high-end jewelry. I hope you guys learned something. I honestly did throughout this whole journey. And the thing I did learn is that if you're gonna wear a midi ring, you have to push it down very far and still pray that it doesn't come off because you don't have any knuckles there to, well, you kind of do. You just have a small knuckle, I guess. Even though my midi rings might be a little bit of a hack, I'm stoked that they only cost me about $7 per ring versus $68, which was the cheapest one I could get at Bluboho. And then the chain one was essentially free because I just made it with things I already have. But even if I were to buy that stuff new, I don't think it would be very expensive at all. So good hacks for some high quality jewelry. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.